Cool. Yeah, and we just like to ask you a question because you've got quite a different story in the aspect that you're actually an athlete at one point in various sports, and that's
Yep.
translated and helped you a lot. I'm guessing into your career. Could you just give
Yep.
us a little overview of your careers in different sports or your athletic endeavors?
Yeah, sure. So, as I say, active from a very young age. My first sport was swimming, which I think happens for a lot of us here in Australia. So I was thrown in the pool pretty early and loved it from day one. So pretty quickly, I sort of progressed in the swimming side of things into squad swimming and competitive swimming there. I kept that going through to about year 11. And I sort of had to make a decision because I was kind of on the cusp of if I put a lot more hours in, I might be able to make some kind of career out of it or have a go, versus what do I want to do in terms of kind of a longer term career in my study. At that point in time, there weren't as many options as there are now for athletes. Athletes are much better supported in terms of developing their career and study options alongside their sport. Back at that time, it wasn't really an option. You kind of had to choose one or the other. So at that time, I did choose my studies and my career because I wasn't 100% sure that I would make it as a swimmer. So I kept doing it sort of recreationally, but decided not to really pursue that any further. I also was involved in athletics from around about 12 years old, started sort of in little athletics and then worked my way up from there, mainly in the sprints and shot put and discus as well. I got up to a state level in that as well, really enjoyed it, and then left off for a couple of years again to finish my final years of study. Picked up volleyball at uni, got up to state league with that as well, but had no, I guess, no desire to kind of pursue that any further. It was very much a social sort of thing at that stage. And I guess more recently, I've kind of transitioned more into the fitness side of things. So as opposed to competitive sport, but around about probably 5 years ago now, I started doing something called aerial sports. I guess the easiest thing to liken it to is circus. That's the thing that most people will recognise. So it's aerial hoops, aerial silks and pole. It's pretty challenging, and in the last couple of years, they've started having competitions in this Australia-wide competitions in those categories as well. So I've started doing some of those more recently and got back into that competitive side of things.